Hello, Sister Goons. My name is Alex, and welcome back to Let's Play Shantae, Half Genie Hero. In the last video, we were introduced to Shantae, managed to defeat Risky Boots, and now we are going to be continuing going through the game. So, I decided to stop by the shop to get the Fireball and upgrade it to the Triple Fireball. Now, oh, and I also got the shampoo so I can up my damage. Now, I got this because of a specific item that we're going to be getting in the next area that we are about to go to. So, you just talk to this woman, and this actually introduces a new thing. Like, sometimes certain characters will have that red exclamation point, and that's basically saying, hey, there's a mission that you can do here, and it's an important one. So, you know. So, we are going to be helping out this girl here, trying. I can't talk. Sorry. So we're going to be heading to Mermaid Falls, which is an area I am going to be revisiting a fair amount on and off screen. I'll explain why in a bit, But for now, because I accidentally used a little bit of my magic earlier, I had to refill up at the hot spring, but not that big a deal. Now, whenever you get a brand new map, Sky will have a little bit of a conversation with Shantae about it, being like, oh, so where'd you get this? Well, there's some problems going on, and this guy, he just gave it to me, so, you know, thought I could help out there. Alright. But if you remember in the last video where we left off, Shantae was fired from her position and somebody filled it in already. This is Holly. Now, spoiler warning, Holly is not the main enemy of the game, and she's only in it for like, I want to say like one more main story mission, and that's it. So, like, she's ultimately like superfluous in the grand scheme of things. And though honestly, I kind of would have liked it if she was the main villain, being like, oh well, like, oh, Shantae never had these kind of problems as a guardian genie, and she wouldn't have us do all these sorts of things. So, like the obviously evil character who does the job a little bit better than the main hero, but as time goes on, it's like, actually, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But anyway, I also wanted to apologize for the lack of uploads last week. Let's just say that some family stuff got in the way, and I kind of had my hands tied behind my back, so was not in a position to do any real video making. So, there's that. But I should have at least a little while before something like that happens again, so I can make a few videos in advance. I can possibly record some videos, and yeah, just go from there. Anyway, so you're probably wondering where Bolo came from, even because it was just Shantae and Sky on Wretch. Don't ask questions you're not ready to know the answer to. But basically, Bolo is here basically because he wants to prove himself as like a real hero. Because, well, a lot of times in the Shantae series, Bolo is he's basically the dork of the friend group, and Bolo just sees himself as like the real hero. Like, think of him as the Daffy Duck to Shantae's Bugs Bunny, right? But anyway, so oh, crap, what was I gonna talk about? Okay, so Bolo, oh, not Bolo. Okay, so this island or map, I should say, I really do like the aesthetic here. I like the luscious green mixed with the water in the back. It is fairly similar to Scuttletown, but just replace the city setting with a forest aesthetic. But yeah, um, uh, I, I do apologize that these dialogue interactions take a little while. But that's because as I'm playing, I am reading them, and well, let's just say I'm not the fastest reader. Okay, like especially when I'm doing it aloud, like that's when I'm really slowing. So yeah. But with all that said, we're now free to get into the meat and potatoes of the video, which is going through Mermaid Falls. Now, as the name would suggest, there is a lot of water involved, and you can also fight mermaids. Though in future runs, they are replaced with something different, and I say runs, future visits, I should say. In future visits, the mermaids are replaced by some other enemy that I'll probably put on screen now. They're basically snake women. You know, like, which, I, I forgot what I was gonna say again. Shit. Well, okay. I'm not that big a fan as to how many times you have to come back here just to get items and stuff like that, because as you go through the game, you will be getting dances, and you will need to come back here in order to properly use them to and to get upgrades for your dances. But you'll also be there's also some other items that I will talk about in a future video. But basically, you're going to be here a lot, and it can get kind of boring and repetitive, so yeah. But I know what I can talk about right now. Those godforsaken mermaids that just spew that freaking multi-shot. I don't like them, because there's no real way to deal proper damage without slowing your pace to a crawl and letting them get their shots in, you know? But that was just the first section. Now we're into the factory section, which has some girls in the background, but you also need to use hooks. Okay, so these gator guys are the main reason why I upgraded my fireball to the triple fireball, so I could get a gator steak. Now, while I fail these basic platforming stuff, gator steak is a health item, but there's a specific side quest later on that requires you to have 2 of them. So that's why I'm taking my time to get rid of those guys with my fireball, because it is a guaranteed drop if you use the fireball on them. Now, I don't know if it's like if you have to kill them explicitly with the fireball, or if you just use the fireball once and then you can just like whip your hair with it. Now, this is like one of those basic platforming things that I am very I kind of get frustrated about, because it's like, oh my god, why am I not doing all this stuff right? Is it just me? Which more than likely is, but I just really think that this is where I really think that part of Shantae's jump is a little heavy, or it could just be the buttons on my controller. I'm not sure which one, but I know it's one or the other. Now these gators, which are called I think they're called techno grunts. They just like to charge at you, and if they don't see you for a little while, you know, like you sort of give them the slip by going to an elevated height. They will start to look for you, like, where'd she go? So yeah, it sometimes it's not necessarily worth to fight them, but you do need the gator steak for later, as I said. So you know, you need to pick and choose your battles with me. You need to pick and choose your battles with those guys. But this is also where I found out that the monkey transformation can actually skip a fair amount of the level, because like what I just did earlier when I decided to climb up the wall, I pretty much skipped an entire section there. So you know, you can take that with you as a little tip if you ever decide to play this game, which I do recommend that you do play it at least once, you know. But anyway, the only downside that I can see for the transformations is that they don't have a means to defend themselves, and well, at least not now, but we'll get to some of that later. So, for the cavern section, I mean, the only thing I don't like is the hooks that you have to go on. Sometimes they feel a little too disconnected, a little too, well, but they're like, sometimes I keep falling off when I don't mean to. Like, I think you need to press the jump button in order to get off, or you just need to move the analog stick, but I don't really know. Anyway, so yeah, this is one of the sections where I was talking about where it's probably not worth it to fight the techno grunts. But I mean, it's not like enemies respawn, so you know, not exactly the worst. Oh, and this is what I was trying to talk about earlier with well, actually no, sorry. So in shops you can get items, weapons, and dances, which is what this snake woman sells. Well, sort of. Basically, for dances, there are some that you can only buy in the shops, and a lot that you need to trade for. And a lot that you need to trade for. And the woman, well, the snake woman offers dances for trading others. The main one I would recommend, trying to get the warp dance and trade it in for the jug dance. Now, a context on that. I think the warp dance will take you to another section of the level that you're on, and the jug dance will spawn money for you, which is a good thing. You're gonna want money in this game so you can get some of the best stuff. But I didn't do that because, well, one, I kind of forgot how I forgot what traded for what you needed to get all that, and yeah, so. But also she has healing items which typically come in the form of food, fruit, monster eggs, roast, and gator steak. Though you do need at least 2 steaks in order for this one side quest to work, but you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. And I want to say that monster eggs can start spawning as soon as you come back to Mermaid Falls after you beat the boss, which we'll talk about in a second here. But definitely one of the worst healing items would be the fruit, because they only restore like maybe half a heart's worth, but you know, it's meant for the early game and not so much for the late game because they do so little healing. But definitely the best one would be the magic potions, because they can restore your health, but also your magic bar. And actually the spread shot, well, actually no. There are 3 different things that I would recommend. Oh, hold on a second. Ugh. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Anyway, so there are 2 major attacks that I would recommend that you get for this fight. The triple shot, like I got earlier, but also the super pike ball. Now, basically, that is an area of destruction that will damage incoming enemies and will also break certain structures like blocks. But you also want the triple fireball for the second phase of the fight. Though you can go through the first phase with just the triple shot fireball, but we'll get to that in a second. So, for now, this is Techno Baron. He is one of Shantae's most recurring characters, but honestly, he's even worse than like a regular villain. He's a businessman. Oh, hey, it's everyone's favorite mermaid waifu, the Giga mermaid. I'm not naming any names here for the record. I'm just saying, it's either her or a Calamaria from Cuphead that people often go for a mermaid waifu. But we have phase 1 here. It's pretty simple. You just gotta destroy the locks, but the Giga Mermaid does not make things easy for you. Like any woman. Basically, she will shoot out orbs or this little laser that kind of follows you around, and they do hurt. Like yeesh, do they hurt. And it's also here where I think that the platforming is a little bit, well, at least for me, it was a little finicky. So, you know. And also, I know you have 2 health, but don't be afraid to take a pot shot or 2 where you can. You should have at least a few healing items so you can properly do this. And there we go. That is phase 1 done. And yes, I said phase 1 because we have a phase 2 coming up. Like, just when you think that it's over, you know, because like we're breaking her chains or containment and whatnot, and she's going back into the sea. Wishful thinking, but no. She's still pissed. But the only place that you can actually hit her, at least from my knowledge, is the red gemstone. Now, and also this is where the fireball comes into play, because the triple shot can actually hit her. And if you time it just right, you can get 9 damage off, because each ball does 3 hits. Well, it does 3 health, so, you know. But yeah, basically all you gotta do is basically avoid her lasers, avoid her tail right here, which I didn't do, and also climb the structures whenever she calls on them. Though you can just go for a simple 3 points of damage if you just want to jump and not deal with a lot of words. Words are tough, okay? But basically, a fireball will help out a lot for the fight. Do not sleep on it. Though, I'm not too big a fan of the flamethrower, which is the final upgrade you get for your fire attack. So maybe not. So maybe not worth. But the scimitar for the super pike ball is definitely worth. I think that's like one of the best weapons in the game. But yeah, so it turns out that Techno Baron here was actually just trying to like he was trying to sell something called Monster Chow, but he ran out of but he ran out of legitimate mermaids. So he had to make some fake ones, which reminds me of that one cryptid that was basically like a taxidermied monkey with the back end of a fish. So I think it was called the Fiji mermaid or something like that, but I don't know. Anyway, so now the mermaids are all free. The Giga mermaid has calmed down. Techno Baron is out of their hair. Things can go back to relative normal in Mermaid Island, or Mermaid Falls. That's what it was. And with that all done, we got a brand new dance to deal with. Now there are multiple dances for multiple purposes, and some even do something that the other does but better. So for this one, we got the crab dance, which is one of 2 water transformations. Now, the crab transformation can jump really high in water, and it can also plunge down. But for now, that's about it. So, is what it is there, I guess. Though we might be able to do some... Though actually, I know that we're going to be able to do some more stuff with this in the next video. But, we are coming up on time here, you know. But yeah, now that we got that out of the way, we can get back to fixing up the dynamo. So, we'll continue that in the next video. So, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and above all, please subscribe to the channel because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and every little click helps out a lot. Until next time, Celestial Goons, remember, reach for the stars.